Andrew McCart, iFLTV, delighted again to be joined by Mr. Eddie Hearn. Eddie, what an eventful day. I mean, fighters are going at it, promoters are going at it. It seems up on that stage with Mr. Warren Benn Shalom. You were on stage. Let's just jump straight into it. What went on?
I don't really know, to be honest with you. I mean, like, we were just standing there and then Ben sort of dived in front of Frank and shoved him out of the way. And I was like, I don't know. And then I don't really know what was going on. It was all quite relaxed and we were having a great time. But you'd have to ask one of them two.
Was it a physical push? Was it like, oh, just a little?
You know, it's just he sort of liked it. Yeah. But it's just because I want to build myself as a star. So you know, yeah. Listen, it was quite amusing. But
would he have shoved you, Eddie? Do you think he would have shoved you?
I don't know. I mean, Frank's 73. It's not on. But you can talk to him. He's over there.
He's over there, definitely. Well, the weigh-in's done. Mega fight with Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. A fight that, as a fight fan, Eddie, not even a promoter, you must be excited for this one.
I'm like looking at them both at the way. I mean, I'm so happy this fight is happening. I'm a little bit scared. Beterbiev is very scary, but Dmitry's demeanour makes me so relaxed. Like he's not like. I got this whoop, right? I can tell what my heart rate was at the weigh-in, and I'm not even involved. Like I'm just going to be watching tomorrow night. I reckon it went to like 120. I don't think Dmitry or Artur Beterbiev's heart rate flickered a mark during that face-off. They're so ice cold and so ice cool. You're going to get just one of the great fights tomorrow night. One of the best light heavyweight fights for decades. I really want Dmitry to win. It's going to be very tough. It's a real pure 50-50 fight. I believe he can do it. He's the only one that can do it, and he's got to go and get it right tomorrow night.
Chris Eubank up on stage basically touched on a little bit what happened this afternoon, and then he went on and said, once I get rid of Sarah Mehta, Ben is next.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I hope so. I mean, look, what was it, 2 years ago that fight was supposed to happen? It's been an unbelievable roller coaster. Let's not get excited till the contracts are signed. It's the biggest fight in British boxing. It's become very personal between the two. It wasn't always personal, but of course there was a huge amount of family pride. That's all changed now. Let them at each other. I think that's the best way to say it.
Eddie, we done an interview with Chris maybe about an hour before the weigh-in. We corrected him on this, but he said that you set him up today.
I said what?
You set him up. You set the whole thing up for him to get cornered out with Ben, yeah?
Absolutely. I mean, you were there. You were interviewing us, and you said, or someone said, he's coming. And then he turned around and he stuck it on him. Was that not what happened? I mean, do you want to confirm that?
No, I can confirm that, yeah.
You can or you can't?
I can.
Okay, yeah, good, yeah.
I'm not calm, I'll say it straight.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not really in the business of setting something up. Don't need to set something up. Like, I think that's really cringe to like try and corner him in a hotel somewhere. We were having a coffee and he walked past and that's what happened. So, but you know, tomorrow night might be different.
Is that a little hint of something? If all goes well for Chris?
Lively. Of course it is. I mean, how can it not? You got Conor Benn ringside. You know, it's a recipe for excitement.
He called Conor a coward as well because he cornered him as he came off the scales. He was dry, hungry.
I don't think it mattered if it was a press conference day. If it was tomorrow, it was going to, you know, do you honestly think that when Chris Eubank walked past Conor Benn in a lobby, no one was going to say anything? Like, it's not, you know, do you think we went, right, what we'll do is, yeah, let's do it on weigh-in day because he'll be really tired and he'll be a little bit depleted, so he won't do anything back. It was just, he walked past and it went off. It's just what happens, and he'll go off again tomorrow night.
That's music to your ears though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not, it's just going to happen. It's not, we'll all be there and we'll make sure that nothing gets out of control. But you can't expect, with everything that's happened, you can't expect there to be no bad blood between the two. Especially with Conor, he's a volatile kid. Like, you know, and we've got to speak to him as well and say, listen, we don't mind a little bit of this, but you can't be laying hands on someone, which he hasn't, to be fair. I mean, there's a push and a shove, but, you know, you've got to be also respectful of the code. The warrior of the code.
Yeah, exactly. For Conor Benn, though, if this fight does when it happens next year, Eddie, what's the weight going to be? Because Chris did look quite tight this morning, making that weight, and Ben's coming up two divisions.
You know what's mad, yeah? People talk about, when the fight was originally made at £157, people were like, oh, you know, it's not really fair on Chris Eubank Jr. Conor was coming up from 147, like, and he's still got to do it. And now, the fight will be at 160, which Chris has just made there. He makes every single fight, and it's like, oh, that's not real. He's a bit tight at 160. It's like, are you serious? Like, the physical disadvantage to Conor Benn is massive in this fight. But it's only because he's that much better than Chris Eubank that it's a fair fight. Because normally I wouldn't be saying, like, you know, we see with the likes of, you know, Kell Brook jumping up and fighting Gennady Golovkin. He had success in the fight, but he was bang up against it. Now, Chris Eubank Jr. is absolutely and never has been any Gennady Golovkin. So for me, it's a fair fight, even though Chris has a massive size advantage, you know. But the thing is he still has to beat Kamil Szeremeta tomorrow night, and I know people might laugh at that, but honestly, like, for me, he's a British and European level fighter, and so is Kamil Szeremeta.
Do you think it's a 50-50 fight tomorrow night?
I don't, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was hard work for him. And if Conor Benn fought Kamil Szeremeta, I think it would be a different story. But we'll see tomorrow night. And Eubank's been out of the ring for a while, so I think he needs this fight, you know. And by the way, one thing I'll say about Chris Eubank Jr. He ain't getting any invites on a Sunday for a spot of lunch, but he's a character. And we need characters in British boxing. Him, Ben Whittaker, right?
You.
Of course. I mean, without me, you're fucked. But good for the game. Conor Benn, same. You don't have to like them, but you talk about them and you watch them. And these kind of kids are going to ignite. I say kid, Eubank's 35 now, but Conor Benn's a young man. These kids are going to ignite the sport. And yeah, go on.
No, I was going to say one more on this. Conor Benn answered that he said that he doesn't need a warm-up for Chris Eubank Jr., but as a promoter, Chris has had a fight and then Ben's been out of the ring for so long.
It's a bit of a disadvantage not having the warm-up fight, but at the same time, he don't want one. He don't want one. He's had 2 warm-up fights in 2 years. Let's be honest, like, you just can't get yourself up for it. Decent performances, nothing special. It's the same with Eubank tomorrow night. Probably won't be a great performance because you need the spite. Imagine them two training for each other. You imagine the press conferences. I'm talking about national news, national front page media for this fight. So let's see what we can do.
Last one, Sky Nicholson, Jaya Patel, 2 other fighters on the card. Quick word on them.
2 tough fights. I mean, I think both favourites in their fights, but even against very strong, very game competition. Raven Chapman, you know, has got all the attributes that people tell you will cause a problem to Sky Nicholson, but they never do. But she is maybe a level above where Sky's boxed so far, and she's desperate to win. Her team are desperate to win, and it's a great event to launch women's boxing in Riyadh season. I believe Sky will be victorious in style tomorrow night, but it's a tough fight, as is Massey against Opatai. Jack, you know, when you're in with these people, Raven, Jack, this is everything to them. They're not going to go in there and just, you know, roll over. So for Jai, he's got to be super sharp. We know we're talking about unifications and other opportunities. You've got to win tomorrow night, and it won't be easy for any of them, but I believe 2 wins, and then fingers crossed for the main event, Dmitry Bivol.
Eddie, thank you so much as always, my man. Thank you.